Hello, my lovely people out there. I am back, and today I look totally different from the video from this morning. It's your High Priestess Lady Lisa coming to you with a client of mine who has seen me in action, who's been around me for tons of years. We got an ultimate connection and has been there with me. Can you mute that for a minute, please? I'm not going to identify him for privacy reasons, but he has been there with me during psychic parties, went and helped me set up, and stayed there with me, listened to the readings if they allowed him to, helped me pack up when the readings were done. He's been in my coven, and he's seen the things that I have done when it's come to hypnotizing people, cleaning people's haunted houses out. Everything and anything I can do, he's a witness and a testimony to. And I'm going to also let you know that I work with all faiths and religions, as he is a Muslim, okay? And if you know anything about a Muslim, they know that this stuff is real, but they consider it evil, like a Christian or a Catholic. Correct? Am I saying anything wrong? Okay, but he knows that I have done hexes and I will do hexes for clients and on people that really rub me the wrong way for whatever reason, but they really got to do something to make me cry before I will hex them. So I'm just going to I'm going to ask him a few little things. Mind you, he will not and does not lie for me. I can give him $5,000 right now and say, lie for me, and he won't do it. He really won't do it, like on everything. Everything. All right, so what should I start with? M. But we'll name you M.
Start with spells.
Well,
Doing spells
let's
with
be
people.
specific. Like
Well,
how long? Why it's so important not to rush magic, because you've seen done what?
from witness testimony from me, it's being the witness, and like she said, I'm of the Islamic faith, and I don't practice no witchcraft or nothing like that. I'm not allowed to, and that's just me. But anyway, but from what I've seen is, you know, her spells work. They work, but from what I witnessed, they only work when you follow instructions. One of the instructions, if I can remember, is not to talk about the spell slash hex or whatever you want to call it to anyone. When I mean anyone, do not talk about it do not discuss this with nobody. You know what? Don't even discuss it. Discuss it, excuse me, with yourself. Just fall back, relax, and be patient. And what I've seen when people have discussed these things, hexes slash spells, with Lisa, basically like asking 1,000 questions, inquiring, they really didn't work because I get all the feedback from her customers and they didn't work. And let me go on the flip side and what I've seen with customers, not customers, people who wanted spells slash hexes, who followed that instruction of not discussing it with no one. The feedback was great. Everything worked out. Everything went through as they wanted. But as far as that is concerned, things going through what they wanted, it took time. It didn't happen the first day. This is from testimony of people who she's done hexes and spells from. This ain't from me. It didn't happen the first day. It didn't happen the first month. It took, whatever time it took. I'm not gonna put a time limit on it, but it worked for the people. Secondly, another thing I witnessed is you want another rule according to Lisa is you have to believe in the spell slash hex or whatever you want to call it. You have to actually believe it and trust it and manifest it. Doubt is just as bad. Having doubt in the spell / hex is just as bad as disgusting. I'm talking about the spell / hex with someone. It's the same results. It's not going to work. So you can't say, okay, I want a spell. You pay for a spell. You pay for a hex, whatever. And then now you have all this doubt. Oh, you're worrying. You're sweating. Oh, it ain't going to work. What if this go wrong? What if this happen? What if they do this?
Well,
this,
it's not
that, and the
working
third?
fast enough.
It's not working fast
Oh,
enough.
I seen them with her the other day.
Right. It's not. Excuse me. It's not going to work. And again, on the flip side, with people who pay for hexes and spells, who believe that it will work, who manifested that it will work, it worked. And I'm not sitting here lying, because believe me, people, I'm not getting a dime from this. Not a red stinking dime from none of the stuff she do. I don't get a dime. I do not get paid for this.
Can you give a testimony? And please, you don't say your name. Was there or was there not a witch in England that I unhexed? How many times would you say about, because she kept going around witches that threw hexes on her? Roundabout number. At least
10. At least
no,
10.
not a combination of all the people in England, just her specifically. Before I stopped doing it because she wouldn't stop.
Her.
No, it was her. Her was 3.
Well,
I'll give you a clue. She's an artist.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. 3, because you're right. You did a few spells for a few witches in England. I'm sorry. Yeah, at least 3. And
hex removed from a real witch in England who was being hexed by witches.
Right. I'm gonna just say this, people. She's the real deal. So
now, can you give like I want you to give like an analogy about planting a tree versus how that what's the word? How that would make sense when it comes to spell work.
Okay, let me say this. Okay, she wanted to use the scenario of planting a tree. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Okay, first
you got to go to the store, so that's like finding a witch.
Right.
I'm just trying to start you off, and then you can give your analogy.
Go to the store, find a witch. I guess that's finding the seeds. Then you would have to dig up a whole little area in the yard or wherever you want to plant it at. That is like Lisa. Once you found the seed, which is Lisa,
then you purchase it.
Then you purchase the seeds. Then you gotta give the information to Lisa. I guess that's sort of like actually putting it into the ground. Once you give Lisa the information.
No, what I'm trying to get at is what I'm trying to get at is if you want to plant a tree, what do you have to do to plant the tree?
You got to go through certain steps.
All right, what are the steps to planting a tree?
You got to go buy the seeds. You got to go put the seeds in the ground.
Dig the dirt.
Dig the dirt. Put the seeds in the dirt. Cover it up.
Then wait.
Wait after you put water over it. If you choose the water, you can wait for it to rain. But seeds need water.
But I'm saying ultimately you got to wait for that tree to grow. Does it grow overnight?
No, you can't rush the growth. It's going to grow when it's going to grow. How fast it grows depends.
So that's kind of like comparing it to the rules.
Yeah.
I would be the store, right? You would go find the store you want to buy the seeds from.
Right.
Then that would be me, the store. Then you would purchase the seeds. That would be you purchasing the spell.
Okay.
Then I would plant the seed for you with instructions.
That's correct.
Then you would abide by the rules. And then you would wait for the magic to work like you would be waiting for the tree to work.
That's correct.
Does that sound pretty much
It makes sense.
right?
Yeah, that's
Okay, let
right.
me ask you another question. You know that I hex somebody. I will not say their name in case they're watching this video because I don't want it sent back to me. You know who I'm talking about because the name begins with a C.
Hmm.
About how many months ago do you think that I hexed this person? You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I'd say it was about maybe 18 months ago.
Okay, so it took about 18, for me, who did this hex, for me, my own prior gain, it took how long to manifest and come into light?
About
18 months.
18 months,
Right.
correct.
Okay.
But just to let you guys know, it was a real big hex.
Vicious.
I ain't gonna use that word, but
Well, what happened to
don't
the
want to use that word.
what happened to the person is kind of vicious.
But it was a real huge hex. I'm gonna just judge it in size, versus if you want to, let's say, maybe come into money. That's small hexes.
No, they're not hexes, they're
I
just
mean
spells.
spells. I apologize. That's
Right.
small spells. And by the way, a hex is a spell, people. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
It's just a different
No,
word.
what I'm trying to say is that some spells can take years
Yeah,
before you see results.
depending on what you want.
And some spells can start to happen in 3 days.
That's right. So I'm just advise you people. I don't mean to use the word you people. People who want spells and hexes, you just have to be paid. First and foremost, you got to follow the rules. Secondly, you just be patient, and it'll all come to light in your favor.
All right, so can you
leave it
give,
at
like, so people can understand why they're given rules, and if they don't follow rules, there would be repercussions, and the repercussions could be the backfiring of a spell or the spell failing, which ultimately, if it backfires, it has failed, or possibly both.
Well, I can use anything. I can use a number of things.
No, I want it to
pertaining
be
that.
like a contract because when I give my clients rules, it's an invisible contract.
Right.
When they write permission, that's really their signature.
Right. Just think about it. Just think about this.
How about them moving into a new home or
You
apartment?
move into you move into an apartment. You sign a contract. On the contract, it states no pets allowed. If you receive pets, you can be evicted immediately. Let's just say that's in the contract. So you rent this place and you want a dog. Let's say you don't have a dog at the time, but you want a dog. Now, you know it's stated in that contract you're not allowed to have any pets in the apartment, but you proceed to purchase a dog and bring it into the apartment anyway. Okay, right there you done broke the rule. Okay, everything's okay right now. You think everything's okay. Your landlord find out 60 days later that you got a pet in the apartment. What do you think happens? Did you read that contract thoroughly? Did you pay attention to the contract thoroughly? What happens? Now he comes and say, listen, you've been a good tenant, but you broke the rules and I want you out of here. You got 30 days to find somewhere to live. So that's just like a spell. She tell you got to manifest the spell. You got to believe in the spell.
Don't
You can't
ask
have
about
any
the
doubt.
spell.
Don't ask about the spell. The asking about the spell is the same thing as sharing the spell with someone. Even Lisa. You just can't do it. If you break those rules,
Then there's repercussions.
more than likely your spell is not going to work and you end up paying money for nothing. And then it might hurt you. Something worse might come out of it.
Well, that's a
that
backfire.
will happen to you.
That's a backfire.
So you basically paid money to doom yourself.
All right, so give one more analogy before I end the video, because sometimes I'm not saying that people don't believe me, but sometimes they need confirmation from a second source. That, you know what I'm saying? Like you go to a doctor and the doctor tells you something, now you just want a second opinion to make sure. Or they'll go to a psychic before me and not tell me, but I already know, and then I'll tell them almost the same stuff that the psychic told them. Not
Right.
because I already know what the psychic told them, because I'm focused on them. So do the analogy of like a lawyer and a contract,
Okay.
and them not believing in a lawyer.
Okay, whatever, you get in trouble with the law, whatever. It can be something minor, nothing major. Let's say you get whatever. You get into a situation, you need an attorney. You go see an attorney. You scrolling through which attorney I'm confused. You find an attorney. Boom. You find a good attorney. So you go down, you talk to the attorney. Well, first you have a conversation with the attorney. Oh, I'm in trouble, blah, blah, blah. I did this, that, and the third. He say, okay. That's just like you saying, well, Lisa, I need this spell done, this hex done, blah, 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 blah. How much? She give you a price. The lawyer gives you a price.
And a
And a
contract, which is my
contract.
rules to the
Right.
spell.
Exactly, which is her rules to the spell. So, lawyer give you the contract, you sign it, you give him a payment. Now,
Non-refundable payment, and it's
Yeah.
in that contract.
Right, of course, non-refundable. So, now, you bugging a lawyer every day. Or every other day you call in his office. Is the attorney in? Okay, you finally catch him. Listen, I think you should do this, try this, do this. Now, as an attorney, the attorney's going to be like, well, you doubting what the hell I can do. I told you what I'm going to do. I told you, what was going on. But you calling me every day, questioning my law skills that I know what I'm going to do. So this is what I'm going to do for you. You can go get yourself another attorney because you doubting that I can do my job. So when Lisa does a spell for you guys, hex, whatever, you're doubting that she know what she's doing when you're bugging her and calling her and asking 1,000 questions or wanting to know one question about the spell or how it going.
Or why
How's it
it's
going?
not working quick enough.
It's self-explanatory. The spell is going to show you it's working regardless. If you keep your mouth shut, you don't have to call Lisa and ask her anything. She's not around whatever hex you want or spell you want. She's not around that particular place or that person. So why are why are people calling? I don't get it. You're going to see the spell work, and it might don't work the first week. It might take 10 weeks.
Like it
might
took
take
18 months for my one
It
spell.
might take 15 weeks. It might take 52 weeks. But it's going to work if you follow the rules. The same thing with the lawyer. Now, the lawyer says, look, you already paid me. It's in contract. No refunds. You need to get yourself another lawyer. Now you're kicking out more money. Your situation with your case
And
getting
the next lawyer, like another witch, might be horrible.
different. Yeah, it might be totally different. And want more money. More likely going to want more money. And you still got whatever you got over your head. You still got to go to court. And you done paid 2 lawyers already.
And you might go to jail now because you didn't listen to the first lawyer.
That's right. And that's all I have to say. So, you don't get it no more honest than that.
And let me just ask you one more question and I'm going to end the video. Now, you, just be honest. You are a Muslim.
Correct.
But you have been to psychics before, correct?
What do you mean? Elaborate.
You have gone to a psychic named Madonna 2 times.
Yes.
And you have watched me go to Psychic Ava, correct?
Yes.
And you have seen me do readings for people and solve murders, etc., 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 correct?
Correct.
And you're always at like, how could you know this? Like, and you get goosebumps and stuff, right?
Correct. I don't say how could you. I don't.
No,
say,
you're just like wowed.
Right. Yeah. Like. Yeah. Right.
Okay, because a Muslim believes in hauntings, they call them jinns, where a lot of people will call them ghosts and hauntings. But from your experience from Psychic Ava, who charged me $250 and gave me 7 cards and a question, even though she was right, she was on point. What would you say about my readings and how much I offer and what I do compared to the average psychic?
Well, Ava, it was a psychic named Ava. Yeah, she did charge you $250, which I was against at the time. But that's your money, so that's what you wanted to do. But you paid the money, and she pretty much gave you an accurate reading.
But was it long?
No, it wasn't long at all.
And how many cards do you think she might have busted out?
Maybe a handful.
Okay, and it
Five
couldn't have
papers
been
on your
no
hand.
longer than
What you mean, the whole
the
reading?
reading.
About 30 minutes tops, if that, because I wasn't
And
standing
she
there that
only
long.
did cards, correct? Because see, you could
Correct.
see through the camera. I'm not looking.
Right. Right. Yeah, she only did cards, and it was about 30 minutes.
Okay, so what
And it
have
was
you experienced?
$250.
What have you experienced at the psychic party readings? Because you're never, when I do a private reading at somebody's home, you might be there, but you can't
Well,
hear it. Or if I do a video, you can never hear them reading. So go by the
well,
psychic party readings. What do I do that you will never see the average psychic medium do?
well, you're not you do it at the parties.
No, just it's still a reading. It's just at a party and you experienced it because the people let you sit in on
Well,
it.
at the parties, what I've witnessed is me personally. For me, I believe Lisa do too damn much for what they pay. She do too much. She would give 3 cards, a crystal ball reading, like look through
No,
the
but how
crystal.
many
Let me
decks do I
finish.
take?
Let me
How many
finish.
decks do I take?
I don't know, at least 40, 50 decks. 40 to 50 decks at least. She got. I'm gonna say about 75 decks of cards. 75 decks. And what she do is she lets you choose a deck.
Or
Who
more.
does that? She lets you pick from the bottom, the middle, the top. Who does that? So it ain't like it's set up. I'm gonna use this specific deck because this deck is set up. She say pick any of them decks, and I'm talking about at least 75 decks, maybe 100. I don't know. It's so bad. I don't even count them. It's just too many. And she let the customer pick from whatever decks on the table, and they got a choice from 75 to 100 decks of cards, different kind of cards, all kinds of different whatever cards you want. She
And then
got them.
on with the
And then let me
medium.
finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
She does the 3 cards question, pick 3 cards, the crystal ball, a pendulum question, and on top of that, she pulls a loved one that passed away,
Or
or
many.
multiple, and she don't even rush the people.
Yeah, because my
It ain't like
longest
it's on a
reading was
timer.
how long?
Excuse me?
My longest reading would have been
About an hour and a half, 2 hours. It was sickening because I'm sitting down there. Not that I'm rushing her, but I'm like, come on. 2 hours, but she don't rush the customer. And all that, I would say the average customers during the party get in about maybe 12 or 13, 14 questions a piece. She's answering these questions. And then what I see from the readings is they're accurate because the people be crying at the table, shaking, very emotional. So it's real. That's all I'm going to say.
So, but the
It's
moral
real.
of the video is not to chase people away, is to awaken them to what they're actually getting for a very low price and to be appreciative of that. Because
That's
the
right. So bargain people.
average psychic is going to charge you 100 to 200 plus more. Deal maybe 3 to 7 cards. And if you forgot to ask the question, you could not even have hit the door yet. If you go back, they'll say, go ahead and book and pay again, and I'll answer it next week, right?
That's right.
Like Jim down Harry's.
That's right. I'm gonna just tell you this, people. It's like this. It's like you going to a cell phone provider. This is the other psychic. And they charging you for one cell phone. They're charging you $150, $160 per month per cell phone for that one cell phone. When you come to Lisa and you get a reading, you know how much she charging you for that cell phone? $20, $15 for that bill every month. So $160 a month or $15 a month. And not to discredit any other psychic, but the Lisa's plan of the phone bill for only $15 a month, you get the internet, you get clarity when you're talking to somebody, There's no drop calls. There's nothing. You paying $160 a month. It might be static. Your internet ain't working. You in a certain area that you can't get on. You can't go on Google. Nothing. So I'm just trying to give you a scenario what's going on. So you got a phone bill. You're paying $160 a month. When you talk to somebody, sometimes you can't hear them. The calls keep dropping. You can't Google nothing. Nothing. It's buffering. Everything is buffering. You go to Lisa's plan. It's only $15 a month. You get the internet always works. The calls always work. There's nothing wrong with your phone. So I'm not going to give it to you no better than that.
Okay, so with that being said, let me thank him for coming on and being completely honest and saying as a practicing Muslim, he has been to 2 psychics before, even though she was fake. And he can tell you that too, even though I didn't ask him that. He has went to 2 psychics. And just get your money's worth. And when you do get your money's worth, be grateful. And when I tell you things that I could have not known, because I don't want you on my Facebook, I don't want you on my social media for that reason. I don't ask you any questions prior to the reading, do I, Mike? Because the less I know, the better off the reading will be. So then when the reading is done, you can't say that I knew anything, right?
That's right.
And I do read all around the world, correct?
Yes.
All right.
All around the world.
So with that being said, my lovies, please take heed to this video. Please do not think it's me coming down on you or you've done anything wrong to me, because I love you all the same. And I really do love you, and I really appreciate you all. And I love reading you all, and I love doing spell work with you all. And my prayers every single night are for you to see the best results from the readings and the spells, or even both. Just be very careful when you choose the store you're going to go to buy the seeds that you're going to buy, and then believe that that tree is going to grow. And that has everything to do with the witch or the psychic or the medium that you pick and what type of reading that you get. You want the best for your buck when it comes to anything in life, okay? And that's all the video was about. So maybe now you will understand how much you're getting when you get a reading from me, how the spells really work, why the rules are important, and if the spell doesn't work, that I am just the middleman, and that I did not in any way, shape, or form destroy the spells, or that my spells do not work. It is the person's fault for not abiding by the rules. And with that being said, love and light. I love you all. And can't wait to get your bookings in, do your readings and your spells, your brush up readings, and maybe your 3-card pull and your pendulum question. And the mail's here, so I got to go. I love you all. Blessed be.